working in construction. My mom and dad
dances, but I was late going up.
And then I guess probably one thing that I'm a little bit proud of, and I think is kind of interesting, was my biggest failure, which kind of happened in the mid-'80s, going into the late '80s. I had 6 shows on the air. I had 3 pilots that I had done. I thought my pilots were really great. And I was kind of walking around, my head was sort of expanding out. I thought, you know what, I'm gonna have 9 shows on the air. I'm gonna be the biggest thing in television here in Southern California or in the world. And I'm, you know, all puffed out, and I didn't sell any of my pilots on one Friday. We called it Black Friday. They tanked all my pilots, and the networks, 3 networks canceled 5 of my 6 shows, and I was down to just Hunter on the air.
And on the horizon next, I'm supposed to tell you about The Expendables, Sly Stallone. I play his bad guy, and I have not seen this movie, so I can't recommend it, but it was a very good script. Accessibility to stuff, I mean, it's amazing. We shot Batman at the old Zeppelin hangar that's about 30 miles outside London. And it's a hangar, it's about 9 stories tall and about 4 football fields wide. And you walk into it, and it's all Gotham City. And if you're a movie geek, which I am, it takes your breath away. It's just incredible. And I'm only in that movie for what, 20 minutes maybe? I was on that shoot for 5.5 months. He was meticulous. What he wants is what he got, Chris Nolan. And it's an overused word, once again, but he also is a genius. He's got his stuff together. And he's also nice.
discipline for them.
Going up.
And now that I'm kind of 60 years old, and I'm beginning to sort of see the overview and the kind of like shape of from then to now and everything that happened in between, and why I thank God that he gave me that path. Instant connection. Well, I have a kind of an inkling as to why he picked me as the only American in this Mexican movie. It's because he's, as we all have come to find out, he's obsessed with monsters and creatures and stuff like this. And because there were no special effects makeup artists in Mexico to create these monsters and creatures that he wanted to put in his work, he had to learn how to become one. So he studied with Dick Smith and Rick Baker and Stan Winston. All these guys came to America, and then eventually went down to Mexico and started his own creature effects shop, just to supply his own imagination.
I think we begin to recognize that we have to give ourselves and others permission to fail. We have to look at the hurt that comes from that and know that if we're hurting for any reason in our lives, that bears witness to our growth. That bears witness to how much we care. That bears witness to our love. That demonstrates that we're committed to transforming. And I think if you're a truth seeker, if you really are genuinely interested in finding your own authentic self, which can be a treacherous path, if you're really committed to it, then you begin to see that the opportunities for you to discover you have been there all along, but maybe you weren't ready. For me, the failures and the opportunities to get up again, get up again, get up again, it's like, don't block the blessing. Thank you, Patti LaBelle.
Oz was really, really great, and if you watched it, you thought, wow, these guys are crazy or scary or something, but there's a real kind of like, okay, like you're the Oz guy, okay, I got you. So like every audition I'd go to, that was kind of the thing they do, and this is again that like, no dude, really, I can do it's just a character, it's not real, I've never been to prison. Well, at once, but that doesn't count, I was in there for a second. Finished the play, and then I was off to Hawaii, and then I was doing Lost, which became like this big, huge thing that, like, who knew that was gonna happen, and so. Well, we all got cast in Lost, and it felt really like like kismet. Like everybody had like this really weird story. Mine was that like I almost missed it because of a half hour. Terry O'Quinn has another story. Josh Holloway was like, yeah, I was going to this audition, but then I was going to go be a park ranger if that didn't work out. Like we all had these weird, wacky like stories, and it all worked, and we got there. And J.J. Abrams, you know, it's just like the Wizard of Oz, man. He just like put this thing together, and we were there going like, man, this feels really good, right? This is really cool. But you know, it's TV. You never know. Like we're doing that the whole time. Well, it's TV. You never. That was. Wow, did you see that shot? That was good. And so, like, we were doing that the whole time we shot the pilot. And then we got back to, you know, we went back to LA, all of our homes, and we got a chance to screen the pilot. And we all watched it and thought, yo, this is, okay, you never know about TV, but wow, that was really, really good, right? Look at our cast, look at that thing. Like, you've never seen a cast like that. And what's going on in that island? And I want to know what's happening, like, you know, so like that's how we felt. And then so when we got picked up to go back and do the whole, like we're gonna do the series, that's when it became really tricky, because they were like, listen, we're just not gonna tell you anything, just for our own sake, and we'll just hand you the script. And so that was it's hard to, again, work out like a character, because you have no idea what's coming your way. Like, you have no idea what's coming your way. And so you get the script and you go, oh, wow, He's gonna hit him with the axe about a watch? What the hell is that watch? What? There's a polar bear? Like all this stuff that kept happening, and we were really, like, we didn't know what was going on. Anyway, the show finally airs, and it's like, and you know, we get, you know, this message on stage, like, oh, we did really, really great numbers, people loved us, and like, that's a good hit, we all clap. That's a good show, we did a good job. And then next week it's like, no, they really, really like us. And so we all clapped again, and then we're like, the third week it's like, Jude, it's a phenomenon. Like, and we were all like, is it? And we got back to LA, and it was like, whoa, hey, like people in cars are riding by and going, Walt, whoa, like screaming at me, and I was like, this has never happened to me, not for The Matrix or Oz or any of those things. I mean, people recognize me, but like, people were losing their mind. Kids were walking up, are you Walt's dad?